They say you don't realize how alone you are until you hear your own breaths amid the noise of a city that never sleeps. But what if the sound you hear isn't even yours? My name is Liam. I'm 30 years old, living in New York, specifically in a small apartment in Brooklyn near the river. I work in digital marketing. Nothing special in my life. Office, cold coffee, crowded trains, and broken sleep. It was approaching 12:30 a.m., raining lightly, the air smelling of metal and humidity, and the city breathing softly, as if trying to hide something. I was returning from a long meeting with my team in Manhattan. The subway station was nearly empty. The iron stairs descended into the depths, lights flickering mournfully, while the sound of raindrops and footsteps echoed through the concrete walls. I stood on the platform, phone in hand, checking my work emails as usual. No one else was there, except for a man at the far end of the bench, wearing a long gray coat, head down, seemingly lost in deep thought or eternal silence. I glanced at him once, then ignored him. But something about his presence unsettled me. It wasn't his appearance, but his stillness, that kind of silence that makes you feel he hears more than he should. The train arrived a few minutes later, the car nearly empty. I sat in the back seat by the window. The tired yellow light and the screech of wheels on the track made everything feel like a heavy dream. Then, in the reflection of the glass before me, I saw him. The same man, sitting in the opposite car. Same posture, same gray coat, same fixed distance between us. I didn't see him enter the train. I didn't hear the door open. But he was there, staring directly at me. My pulse quickened. I turned my face toward the window, yet the glass reflection still revealed him clearly. I tried to breathe deeply. Without realizing it, I was watching every flash of light pass through the tunnel, as if it might reveal something I didn't want to see. At the next station, I decided to switch cars. I stood, walked quietly between the seats. The door opened with a loud metallic sound. I crossed to the second car. Empty. I breathed a sigh of relief and sat down. But in the glass across from me, I saw the same movement. A gray shadow passed through the far corner, sat, stared, and then disappeared. When I reached the street, the rain intensified. Cars passed quickly, but every glass reflected the same image. A man in a gray coat standing behind me. I turned. No one. I walked quickly toward my building, hearing footsteps behind me. I stopped. The footsteps stopped. I ran. The sound ran with me. When I reached the building door, I looked back one last time and saw nothing but the reflection of a red neon sign across the street, gleaming on the sidewalk like frozen blood. The next day I couldn't sleep. I woke to find my Metro card on the table, with a number I hadn't seen before etched in small handwriting. 12:47, the same time I had left the train. At first I thought I was losing my mind, but a week later, while checking local news, I found a short report. A gray coat found in an empty subway car at Brooklyn Station after a brief power outage. The line was closed for investigation after reports of a missing passenger last seen on the same train. They didn't mention his name. No one knew what had happened to him. Since that day, I notice something every time I ride the train. The seat across from me is always empty, even if the car is crowded. After months, I finally decided to walk instead of taking the train. That night, as I crossed the bridge, the train passed beneath me. I glanced quickly at the windows. most of them dark. But in the last carriage, there was a shadow sitting alone, wearing a gray coat. Then I turned to the shop window beside me, and I saw something that made me freeze. My reflection was not alone. Remember, not all the sounds you hear in the carriage come from the passengers. And sometimes the empty seat is more occupied than you think. If you dare to stay in the realm of horror, subscribe and share this video. The dark stories are far from over.